side, what's the latest injury news? Any new knocks?
No, I don't hope so. Hudson-Odoi is still out, and we are a bit in doubt with Romelu and Hakim Ziyech. So we need to see. They were not in training yesterday due to little problems, but we hope to have them in training. But we need a test and confirmation from training at 3 o'clock if they are available tomorrow.
And what's the nature of Hudson-Odoi's injury? It was Achilles, and then it became a back injury, is that right?
Yeah.
How would you rate his chances?
Doesn't look so good at the moment, so it's, I think, not a matter of days at the moment. It's more a matter of weeks.
Is that a setback then?
It is. I mean, he started in the World Cup final. We were just talking about it. He started in the World Cup final. He had an assist in the World Cup final. And he was crucial on the left side, sometimes as a wing-back, most of the time as a winger. And it was one of the seasons where he had the most play time, I would say, and was growing into it, and suddenly he stopped his season. Not his fault, of course, but of course it's an upset.
It's 2 defeats now in a row, 7 goals conceded.
Yeah.
How concerned are you?
Well, we are aware of it and we don't like it, and we are, I don't know if we are concerned, but it's very untypical for us, and we had a look into it. We talked to the team about it. We constantly try to figure out how we can improve, and then we need to stop this kind of direction and stop the development as soon as possible. And the best possibility is, of course, tomorrow. It's very not like us to defend like this and concede so many goals, and that's why it's we didn't see it coming, because it was not the case before national break, and these 2 matches within whatever 5 days, 4 days, very untypical, and that's why not so easy to deal with, because it doesn't fit into a pattern.
What do you put it down to? How do you explain it? Is the schedule playing a part?
Yeah, but the schedule is not playing a part that you concede 7 goals. The schedule is challenging, very challenging, because we played in a lot of competition and extra competition with the World Cup, and we played the competitions until the very end. So we are at the moment, I think, with Liverpool far ahead in game minutes, and this is a big challenge, because in this period in 22 we had a lot of extra times that we played. So this adds up. I mean, I think maybe to another 2 matches that we played. If you just add up the extra time in these matches, so yeah. It is when you face teams like Brentford and like Southampton, and very soon also Crystal Palace, Arsenal, who are not in international duty or not involved in so many games, is a big challenge. But it's nothing new, and on one hand it's a challenge, and it has an impact, but it's nothing to talk about. It's nothing to look for excuses. That's the way it is when you work for Chelsea and you play for Chelsea. We need to overcome these obstacles, and don't get comfortable in accepting that it's hard. It's hard. We need to again embrace it and love it, that it's hard. It's how it is.
Do you think the uncertainty over the future of the club is distracting, though, affecting the players at all?
It would be a big surprise. I mean, we proved actually that it's not like this, and why should it be different now? Nothing has changed for us in inner life. Nothing has changed for us here in Cobham, the training ground, and the preparation of the games. So there is no reason why it suddenly should have an effect. And I don't look for any excuse or for any reason in these circumstances.
The deadline for bidders has been extended. Is that disappointing that it will drag on?
Oh, I didn't know this. Is it?
Yeah.
No, it is what it is. You know, it is this. It's the process, and I'm sure that the people who take care about the process, means our board and government, and on the other side the people who make the bid, take care and are aware of the urgency, and take care that it is as fast as possible. But it's none of my business actually, and it's not an upset. I'm as I said before, I'm not involved heavily in the daily process of that. So No, it's not a new concern. It's the situation is in general the situation, and we know about it, and we can handle it.
John Southall, 5 Live.
Hi Thomas, what have you managed to do over the last couple of days? Have you had a team meeting? Have the players been allowed to wear their views at all, or what's going on?
Well, it was not a discussion type of a meeting. Yesterday was more like that I gave my point of view. That's sometimes also necessary, and we take the players' view very seriously and often into account. But over the last 2 games, we thought like it's maybe necessary to give our point of view. And but behind closed doors and in an atmosphere where everybody can take criticism and I feel involved in a development like this. Is not we don't point fingers and we don't look for people who are guilty. We're in this together. But we needed to point out some things in our game about which we are not happy and how we could have defended better, done better. So it was about the game. It was about well, very about offensive principles in our game, what we wanted to do and what we lacked doing. We lacked, unfortunately and a bit surprisingly, we lacked structure in the last game. So it was not very like normally our big strength is that you can clearly see what we try to do and what we try to play. That was not the case, and it was a big problem because when we didn't, then we lacked the rhythm and we lacked the repetition of our attacks, and we lacked the discipline in attacking, and the positional discipline in attacking, and that they gave us. That was a big disadvantage in counter-pressing because we were not in the places where we're supposed to be. So this gives you a big disadvantage in counter-pressing, and in defending we lacked intensity. So and we lacked investment. So we that was the more or less like what we saw, and we figured it out in details, because it's not about general criticism. It's about details, about situations, and it is about trusting in the players. I love the players and I love the group and I love to be involved, and we can do better together.
You think it's just a blip? You think?
Sorry?
You think it's just a blip?
I hope so, and we have of course also a lot of reasons to think so. It's very untypical, and there are a lot of reasons what can lead to a thing like this. It's in a bad timing, a very bad timing, and it came, like I said, more or less out of nothing, literally out of nothing, because nobody was here, and then suddenly we start losing matches and conceding goals. But it's challenging, and it's on us to find solutions and not to complain too much, and not to worry too much, sondern to refocus and retrust in our strengths and keep belief. These are the moments where you stick together and digest it. It took a while because it was now 2 games, not only 1 loss, and from today on we allow ourselves to focus on Southampton.
Last one, John.
How do you get the best out of Romelu and Lukaku? Because at the moment he looks a shadow of himself. Is it a mental thing? Is it a confidence thing?
I think it's not. Yeah, I think it's not only for Romelu, who's lacking at the very moment a bit of shape. It's like after national break, I have the feeling we all lack a bit sharpness, shape, and it's a lack of form individually, and then it affects the group, of course. It's a bit sad, but Romelu had 1 good chance and 1 very big chance. I mean, nothing else helps more than goals. Would have been, I think, a huge boost for him. The other thing is that the best thing is to train good and to take training seriously and to take care about the process, which he really did in the last days. So he missed training yesterday. Hopefully he will come back today, feel good enough, and with no pain to be available for tomorrow, and then we see.
James.
Thomas, how confident do you remain about Chelsea finishing in the top 4 this season?
Absolutely confident, but not as a given. I never thought about this as a given, because this is the most demanding league in the world, and we know where we come from, and we know how we struggled through the season and what can make us struggle, and I still feel us in the team, and there's nothing bad that can be can play on a very, very high level if we reach our top level, and if we do this in a very consecutive and very, very repetitive and very often, which is very good, and which is our job, and which is what we push for. But if we don't reach it, we can also lose to any teams of any quality, and unfortunately we proved it in 5 days. So this is us, and this is nothing bad. It's just a reminder that this is us, and we should absolutely not feel ashamed to fight for and not feel bad to fight for place number 3. There is no disappointment in the moment we are on place number 3, and it is a tough competition until the very last day. So do I feel confident? Yes, because I have trust in my players and in the club, and of course in myself and my work and my stuff. But do we feel that this is a given? And no, absolutely not. But it never felt like this.
Due to the way that Southampton play, the way they're in your faces, the way they press, they're almost the perfect opponent tomorrow, because you simply have to turn up and compete for the first minute.
Yeah, if you turn it around like this, they will not make us fall asleep. That is clear. Either they play a 4-4-2 with a heavy high pressing line of 6 players, which they did in the first match this season, and which they normally like to play in their usual shape. Second game against us in Cup, they played a back 5, which led to a man mark over the whole pitch, which was very demanding and a very intense game. We had some looks and watched some scenes of the 2 matches. Both matches were on a high level of quality, very intense and very fluid from both sides, and very active. So it's quite a challenge, you know. We have the schedule is the schedule, and we just come from another game, and it's demanding. But as you say, maybe it's good. There is no other way than accepting this physicality. Otherwise, you will be under the wheels.
Where do you feel like N'Golo Kante is at the moment? Because it's been an inconsistent season because of injuries as well. He came off at half time. Do you think that all this football at the level he's been playing at over the last few years is catching up on it?
I don't know. I can honestly not answer the question. This can be a debate for an ongoing debate, and nobody will know if it's like this. One thing is very clear, that N'Golo is a key player because he has outstanding qualities, unique qualities, like for other teams. It's maybe some strikers, central defenders, or whatever. For us, N'Golo is a unique player that can give something to the team that nobody else can. He struggles in this season with consistency due to injuries, due to illness. And this is also a reason for in our bit of inconsistency, of course. We missed him for so many matches. If you look at the minutes that he was available and he can play. Now in the moment he's fasting. Like, is it fasting? Yeah, it's fasting due to his religion, due to his belief. So maybe another reason. I think he's not doing it for the first time. But of course, if you for many days don't drink, don't eat during the day, it can have an effect. Of course, he's not doing it for the first time, and he's used to it. But maybe it's also a part of the explanation why we had the feeling that he is not on his highest level. If you compare how much of an influence he was in the last campaign against Real Madrid. This is and this is also nothing to be ashamed of or to feel sorry for. This is a key player with unique qualities, and of course we try to push him and we try to help him because we know what we have when he's on the pitch.
Vaishali.
Hi.
Just going back to the defence and the number of goals that the team let in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a mixture of perhaps the personnel, or do you think it's more the tactical setup, or perhaps a lack of confidence?
A lack of confidence would be very surprising because there was no need for lack of confidence. It was a very untypical first match to lose because we were 1-0 up and did not allow too much until then, and suddenly the goals are very, very different that we concede. This also in the goals is not a pattern. We defended the last matches in a back four. Both matches we defended in a back four, not to be fancy, but just to not be pinned with too many people in the defense against not enough strikers. So anything can have an influence in that, and I don't have this one answer. Some of the goals is also about individual behavior. It's about behavior in little groups, in 2-3 players, how we behave. And it's also about the determination and the investment defensively. How many sprints are we doing? How much do we invest defensively? Do we have the determination and challenges to really take care about that? I don't need help to win this challenge, or do I think, okay, I will be protected by the structure and nothing will happen. It's good if nothing happens if you lose a challenge, but sometimes, if you're not protected, it gives you like the feeling, okay, if I don't win it here, then it will be a goal. And maybe we're lacking a bit like this mentality in the last matches, that it's really every little challenge matters, and that we have a higher determination and a higher investment in terms of high intensity runs against the ball. This is where we can improve.
Edouard Mendy has come into the spotlight after the Real Madrid game, obviously for the third goal.
Yeah.
Do you feel that perhaps he's feeling the after effects of the amount of travelling he did during the international break? And are you thinking of perhaps taking him out of the team for tomorrow's match?
Yeah, he needs to. It's life as a goalkeeper on a high level, and the goalkeeper is a very special position in football in general. And once you play on this high level, you're anyway in the spotlight. And when you're so successful like Edou in the last couple of months, and you win so many trophies and have so much successful games like he has, you are even more in the spotlight. He was never fully free of mistakes, also not in the last season. We helped him maybe better. We were maybe sometimes a bit more lucky. So can he? Of course, he can solve this situation much better, and he knows it. It's a bad timing in any match. It's a bad timing to do a mistake like this in a quarterfinal, in an occasion like this against Real Madrid. It's one of the worst moments where you can do it, because it's so obvious. I hope it does not affect too much his self-confidence, because this is what goalkeeping is also about: to accept mistakes and to live with mistakes, and go back and help your team with performance, focus, refocus, stay calm, stay confident. This is normally what goalkeepers are made of, what Edou is made of, and now he can prove that he's a true champion.
Okay, we've got time for one more. That's it, I'm afraid. Nick, and then we'll do the newspapers.
I know you say you never say anything in here you wouldn't say, well, you haven't said to your players already.
Yeah.
Given that you were very candid the other night, you're very open about the situation. I assume the meetings that followed were as well. But can those kinds of meetings be turning points in the season almost, if an opportunity for everybody to be that honest when there's maybe a little bit of pressure because of results? Can you actually? Obviously, you don't want to lose games at all, do you?
Yeah.
Sometimes you learn from them and actually become better because
there are different types of reaction to it. Sometimes you're disappointed. Sometimes you're we had a defeat against Liverpool, to take a very obvious example. But I was disappointed about the result, but the disappointment about the performance was we were absolutely happy and delighted how we played and what a match it was. And so the feeling the next day is very different than after Brentford, and very different than like after Real Madrid, because I felt like we gave a huge opportunity away. It's not normal to play quarterfinals in Champions League, and it was a huge night and a huge opponent, and we were not at our best level, and that's why we were not only disappointed but also angry. And it's for me, it's the best to express it like it is, and don't hide, and it's anyway the best to sleep over it. So I had to face you after the match, and I was not so good in hiding my emotions, because I felt we were so, like I said, we were so under our own level that it was the one of the worst moments to do so, and that was disappointing because I know how much better we can play. I felt like how untypical these kind of mistakes and performances was for us, and that led to my reaction. But it's, you know, it's I don't. What was the question about? If it's a turning point, I don't know if it's a turning point. If it's you need to take care about the process, and the process right now was yesterday to be again honest with the team and to explain your reactions and why it's like this. I think this is necessary that the players understand it, and then they can handle it if the manager is sometimes angry. I think I had some reasons, and I presented my reasons, and from there on we go. Nobody will lack support from now on, and nobody will lack my love and my appreciation for how they are as a group and for how they are as players. I love to be involved, but sometimes you have to handle this. This is in any team of the world like this, and this is in amateur football and in youth football, and it's in our group the same.
Can I just ask what Romelu's problem was, what the injury is?
He has Achilles pain as well, and it's just painful. It's not a major injury, but it's just painful.
Okay.
Achilles, yeah.
Thank you.